Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is, or when you're watching this video. It happens to be a Tuesday morning here in San Antonio, Texas, as of now, and I'm making this video. Welcome. Tarot card Bubba Benja says, welcome. I gave them 2 hemp heart treats, dog treats, and if you're wondering, my sister Kimmy brought them over. She brought over like a tub of these little hemp hearts. They're in the shape of an actual heart. Not an anatomical heart, but you know, it's like this big. It's about, the dosage is about for the size of the dog. And he's got a pup treat that he's chewing on now. He ate his hemp hearts first that his Aunt Kimmy brought over. And she brought over these hemp sticks, mood calming, that my mom has given to Gypsy a time or two. If you're wondering, my mom did not buy them. She's not opposed to buying them, but it is a weird situation, you know, I'll tell you what. And she used to get hemp hearts for Frida and then for Gypsy, and then she got she stopped buying the ones that had the marijuana leaf on it. She got a different brand that doesn't have hemp, but it's other calming stuff. But anyway, just so letting y'all know, say, hemp, what is that situation going on? My sister Kimmy brought them over. Benja likes them. Gypsy likes them too. But anyway, I'm calming for dogs, so that's good. I mean, I guess it's not really like you can, you just gonna have to tell from their behavior, I guess. Can't really ask them. How are you feeling now, Bijo? Anyway, I hope you all are doing well. I apologize about this not sticking to the usual schedule that I've established, or we have established. I don't know, I kind of like to include y'all in stuff. These tarot card videos, readings and drawings. It's just been kind of a weird schedule. I was going to do one yesterday. Sunday was Mother's Day, and I didn't end up doing it in the afternoon. There's a video, and then Monday I was all ready in the morning to do start to my makeup and stuff, but then Tracy and I ended up going to the mall, North Star Mall. And then walking around over there, my mom dropped us off and picked us up in her new car. So oh, got a dog walker, a female. I'm glad she can afford her house, because I can't afford a house. That's why I'm here. Anyway, as I was saying, my mom dropped me and my sister Tracy off at the North Star Mall. We spent some time there. Nobody recognized me, but I'm sure you're not surprised about that by now. It is May 12th, 2026. So it's not like I'm gutted or heartbroken about it. I just like to bring it up because I think it's still a good card to play. Anyway, I was going to make this video yesterday. We went to the mall during the day. I was going to make it, then I went running, and then I was going to make it in the evening, but unfortunately my mom watches TV in the evening in the living rooms, and it's kind of loud, and you can kind of hear it in here, and I said, you know what, I don't really want to worry about this copyright issue, copyright strike, so I'm just going to make it in the morning. And one of the reasons is also that my sister Tracy and my mom are going to HEB, the grocery store, for the week. So I have the house here quiet, alone, to make this tarot card video, which I guess took me 5 minutes to say. I apologize about that. Anyway, the NISD school bus has started back up randomly this week. I saw it yesterday, and then I saw it again today. So, Bento, no sir. Oh, I closed the door. I wanted to leave it open. 1 second. I'm going to open the door so you can walk around. So anyway, other than it being increasingly difficult to make these tarot card videos, here we are, Tuesday, or whenever it is you're making this video. I'll put in the info box, maybe, just if you don't want to hear about this live stream situation, then maybe just go ahead and tune in around 6 minutes. But anyway, a circle back. Welcome. How y'all doing? I was gonna do the Crow Tarot today, but then I did it this morning and I was like, you know, I'm gonna do the Dragon Tarot. I don't know why. How about you? Just decided to. Anyway. Anything else I should discuss? I think last time we talked about age. The perception of age and stuff like that. Oh, I know. And I was like, I thought about another topic. Maybe we can revolve our tarot card readings around. And it was being present, especially a good metric of that, of such, is sometimes schedules are good and everything. Sometimes we get a little bit too stuck in our schedule. Sometimes that's completely fine, and sometimes it's nice to make the schedule interesting. But I think that the main element of that is of being present at things. So sometimes, again, I think a lot of there's a lot of discussion about social media use. I'm not sure if they're talking about websites. I think they mean public discussion, open conversation platforms, I think, is a distraction. Me being a millennial, I think it's a bit outdated, that conversation. Maybe other people think different and have a different opinion. But I think it's a bit of an outdated discussion angle. Had social media, it has been a prominent part of our society for 20 years or so. I don't know. Like I said, I am a millennial. You may have a different opinion. But I think the important thing about maybe what is trying to be discussed is being present. Which obviously there are ways to go about that, right? Yoga is really helpful at being present. I think any sort of kind of athletic exercise. It doesn't matter your skill level or anything like that, but in my opinion, but I think working out the body is definitely helpful for the mind. Yoga and meditation, staying present, and I think what's really helpful, and the angle that I wanted to get at today was being in nature. This stop and smell the roses type mentality. Um, uh, for me, I used to go to the zoo a lot, as y'all know, and just seeing an animal, kind of interacting with an animal. Banjo, Banjo, 1 second. Banjo, no sir. Anyway, perfect timing, huh? Anyway, I think a good metric of you say, well, I am present is maybe you say I do have fulfillment and stuff like that, and uh, maybe with that being said, you might still have the worry of maybe you don't want to look back on your life and feel like there are places and areas where you could have tried a little bit more, and that's where your regret is or whatever. Um, but I think, like I said, I think a good measurement or metric of that is interacting with nature. It could be plants too. My sister Kimmy, she gardens a lot. Her backyard is amazing, and a lot of people in her neighborhood have really nice gardening stuff. So, yoga and meditation is a good way to do that. I think gardening is probably a good way to do that. But me personally, I think interacting with animals is a really a kind of this kind of witness or awareness. I think I'm going to use a lot of this uh, yogi type of vernacular. Uh, uh, verbiage for these things, because I don't really know any others. I think maybe if you're like in psychology and wellness and mental health a lot, you might be using different words to describe the same thing. But I just think it's really interesting. As far as to me personally, I'll just kind of be on the go, just kind of doing all this stuff. And but I interact with like maybe a dog, or it could be a squirrel. When I went to the zoo, it was like all the animals. I can't believe I spent so much time here and I didn't go see all the animals at the zoo. It would be like this tank, and I would like want to talk to each fish. But anyway, I think that's a good kind of metric and measurement to kind of be present, and kind of seeing this other life form. Obviously one that can't talk back, but still, life is a life, and we're mammals, animals, kingdom Animalia. It's just kind of interesting to see these animals go about their lives and be present, and your interaction with them uh, uh, brings you to the present as well. So I think that's kind of the theme that maybe we can center our tarot card reading around. I don't know. What y'all think? That sound good? Poor Benja. Tarot card for Benja. Okay. So maybe we can go ahead and do that. And with that being said, I think a good spread for that is the 7 card spread with the 2 influences, the hidden influence and the outside influence. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Some of my cards are flipped over. Sorry. But if you're wondering, the back of these cards are really cool, right? Dragon heads. Okay. And I kind of like I have a bit of more of an affinity, I guess. You call your own judgments how you see them. But I have a more of an affinity for learning things like that, being present, learning how to be present, and kind of a stillness of mind. There's a lot of ways you can talk about this, but I really like that because it's kind of like a holistic thing. It can be, well, maybe you want to be more present with your significant other. Maybe you want to be more present with your kids. Maybe you want to be more present with yourself. I don't know. There could be a lot of things. And so when you use that kind of metric of interacting with animals and stuff like that, then I think it kind of allows you to draw your own conclusions and kind of have this a self-assessment type of situation, self-assessment and self results or problem solving type situation. It's great to get advice. It's it's to learn these things and study these things so you can have a critical in however way, right? So you can have a critical thinking type conversation about it and stuff like that. But it's also, I think, really kind of a key ingredient to be able to learn from yourself and stuff like that. With that being said, is there anything you want to do today? Okay, I think we're ready to go. Then I'm doing the Empress reverse. We hate this card. Knight of Cups reversed. This is very interesting. My cup's kind of in the way. I'm going to take a sip 1 second. Okay, the Knight of Cups is an emotionally sensitive man. I'm really uncomfortable right now. 1 second. Okay. Alright. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, it does. Okay. We have a emotionally sensitive man. Knight of Cups reversed. There's a question about it, which is interesting. I guess instead of taking this again automatically negatively, this could, in fact, I guess be a perfect card for continuing the conversation we just had about being present. Another way, I guess, being present or being in stillness or stuff like that is saying being sensitive. Are we being sensitive to ourselves and our environment or not? Not to say that not being sensitive is bad or negative or anything. Just kind of it's a different, like I keep saying, a different way to have this conversation, which I guess isn't bad. It's that's fine. This cups the water, I think, is a great way to approach the conversation we just had. Especially if you use the measurement and metric of interacting with animals, nature, and stuff like that. Recently, these days, it's either Petco or PetSmart for me, or the bugs and lizards and squirrels that happen to be on my jogging route. But anyway, with that being said, this an emotionally sensitive man, the reversed isn't the exact opposite here in the Dragon Tarot. The reverse just merely indicates that there's some sort of question mark going on there, which is great. Again, I think this card isn't such a bad card. It's probably a really great card for talking about our theme today. So let's see our pass. The Queen of Cups. This is just great. And the emotionally sensitive woman. Um, she is the queen. So we have this the knight, obviously fighting, discipline, focus, and all that. Um, and this, I guess, this kind of measurement type of situation. Uh, Maybe you can say justice or judgment, depending on how you interpret those two cards or whatever. But I think this knight is usually represents a fighter of some sort, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and stuff like that. Maybe even the earth element, Lee. But anyway, in our past, we have the Queen of Cups upright. This is really great. It means we were really present in our past, I guess, in terms of our theme today. Um, we may have had our past may have had challenges, but I think we've this Queen of Cups indicates that we've approached them really, really well. The Queen can also mean this. Excuse me one second. I just need to... Anyway, one second. Okay, sorry about that. So our past with this queen can also mean this solar and lunar self or shadow self, which I think usually if your needs and wants and this kind of subconscious, I hate to say unconscious because that could be have a bit of a dynamic that I'm not trying to have. But you can do things unconsciously. What is it called? The cocktail effect is a psychology term where your brain is actually paying attention to a lot of the conversations that, like if you're in a room, a lot of the conversations, and that's how come if somebody says your name or something like that, you'll automatically hear it. It'll automatically be put forth into your consciousness, even though you have no idea what they were talking about. You were having a different conversation with somebody else. I think when I say unconscious and subconscious, that's what I mean. I don't mean like your consciousness is not there, you're unconscious. It's not conscious versus unconscious. It's just conscience and unconscious, subconscious, which is the shadow self. And I don't know if you know this, but there are some people who think that if you are unhealthy, it doesn't matter what you project out into the world, which is solar or masculine, right? Your personality. If you're secretly or ignoring a certain part of your wants and needs or whatever, then it's going to have an effect. It's your shadow self, your lunar self, and your kind of wolf spirit or whatever. And it's going to be affected by all that, and could manifest and creep into your masculine and solar self by in very unhealthy ways. But anyway, with that being said, we do have the Queen of Cups upright in our past, which means whatever our past may be, we've been very sensitive and very present and very aware of our environment and I guess ourselves. So let's say our present. The Two of Wands. This is great. I think this is a good advice being given and received. So this is great. Maybe this could be, I would like to think of this card as this our metric and measurement of being in nature, interacting with animals, maybe. Maybe their chakras help have some sort of resonance or whatever frequency with our chakras, whether it's subconscious or unconsciously done. You know, moths have like brain cells. I googled that the other day. I said, "Do moths have brains?" They're so tiny, but they in fact do have brains. They do have brain cells. So anyway, good advice being given and received is our present. So that's good. So far, so good. Let's see our hidden influence. The reverse King of Wands. This is a very interesting. A man of leadership. I'm wondering why this is reversed today. And it's a wand is obviously the fire element. So we have a lot of water element. We have this fire element here in our present. Good advice being given and received. It's the two. It goes ace, 2, 3, 4. So the 1 is skipped. The 0 and the 1 are kind of interact as the same thing. Yeah, man of leadership. So I think this is very interesting for our hidden influence. We have the reverse King of Wands. I see this reversed Knight of Cups here and this reverse King of Wands. This very interesting. Instead of this a solar lunar aspect here, which it could possibly be. You could say the reverse of a king is a queen, maybe. But I really see this. Maybe instead of solar and lunar, we have this a fire and water type situation. A fire being action, spirituality, travel, ideas, innovation, and water being a creativity, expression, I guess, and love, dreams, emotions, maybe even a psychic energy, which just being in tune with the universe, whatever. So I think this is very interesting. This is our hidden influence. Again, I wouldn't be get in the fight or flight mode. I think maybe the fact that this is the King of Wands could just be this is we've had whether our past was challenging or not, whether you like to compare your past with other people's past, whatever, right? We've had a very successful past, being present and emotionally aware, and I guess a lot of a fulfillment. I guess is another way you can say that. So maybe saying being present isn't really about fulfillment, but that's a good argument and talking point. But whatever that may be, our past was really successful in the sense that we've reached a very high potential of the Suit of Cups. And so I think it's very interesting we get this hidden influence of the reverse King of Cups. This could just quite indicate a challenge. Not necessarily like an obstacle, but kind of a personal challenge. I would say a spiritual one, since it is the Fire and Wands suit. And one that's very elevated. This isn't something that's going to waste our time or treat us like we're in kindergarten or something. This is going to be a very elevated kind of challenge um, with fire. So that's why I think this is the King of Wands reversed here. Which is great because if we're using a metric and measurement of being present and stuff like that, that's I would say good news that we get this hidden influence as the reversed King of Wands. Let's see what our obstacle is. The reversed Seven of Wands, a worthwhile sacrifice is the obstacle here, but it's a reverse, so that's interesting. Um, which I guess has a lot to do with being present, right? Make a decision of how you spend your time and stuff like that. How you spend your time, how you spend your energy, and all of that. Um, is this a important and worthwhile sacrifice of your time and energy? This is a reverse King of Wands. Is this maybe there could be not everything is how like puppy dogs and rainbows, but this is hidden influence could indicate something quite challenging and could bring maybe the negative emotions and feelings and stuff, and maybe that's why there's a sense of kind of a sacrifice type situation. The stop and smell the roses has now turned with our obstacle of the reversed Seven of Wands is the harder you work, the luckier you get, right? Um, which makes sense. I would say this is all, if it's advice, it's a good advice. Um, so yeah, reverse the Seven of Wands, an important but worthwhile sacrifice, question mark. All right, let's hear outside influence. The Magician, and this is great. We have the Red Dragon. I think the Red Dragon is in a lot in the Major Arcana deck. The Red Dragon. And the Magician here, kind of in a position of meditation or something like that, right? The legs are crossed. You don't see that very often in this deck. A seated position. With that Egyptian, I forget what it's called. The Egyptian cross, I don't know. Correct me or expand upon a further detailed description of what that is if you want to into the conversation. There's a red dragon in the Magician, which is an air element. It's in the Major Arcana deck. There's a 0 and there's 1 and then there's 2, 3, 4, like the Minor Arcana deck. That's just kind of one of the main differences between the two arcanas. But the red dragon is the Magician. There's a red dragon in the Tower card, which is about the sudden change. That's like really big change, like a thunderstorm or something like that, something out of your control. And I think the Devil is also a red dragon. Which again, here in the Dragon Tarot, the Devil card has a different meaning than in the Crow Tarot and other tarot card decks. A little less like more. The Devil means more in a position to evaluate. I guess the negative parts, right? It's the human skeletons there, lies and deceit and restraints. But here, our outside influence is the Magician, which is very happy. The Magician, and not only the Dragon Tarot, but the Crow Tarot and other tarot decks too, has all the 4 elements, which I think is really cool. Has the fire, water, air, and earth element, and a mastery of those elements too. Um, Here in the Dragon Tarot, it's about upright, is about getting your message out to a wider audience, which I think is interesting for a magician. Putting across your message to a much wider audience and reason, which is the air element. He's a master of communication, and he's a master over these elements and not subject to them, which is great. It's kind of, I think another way to say that is kind of being a sort of an alchemist, right? I think maybe different people can have different viewpoints of what alchemy and an alchemist is. But I guess maybe here in this tarot card deck and with our theme, our outside influence can be something like a yogi or something like that. So that's good. And so yeah, a lot of the magician cards have all four elements, and they have the infinity symbol. So I think that's very interesting, especially here in this Dragon Tarot, when things can mean a little bit different than other tarot card decks. An air element. The first two, the Fool and the Magician, are both air elements. Anyway, our advice and solution is the Lover's card. This is great. This is very much romantic love here in this Dragon Tarot. This yin yang is love is in a constant state of evolution. If you change or your partner changes, y'all are going to mesh and bond and be together and love each other. Car driving by. Anyway, this Lover's card is a very nice card. If you're not in a relationship right now or anything like that, or you're not in the headspace of wanting to be in a relationship or anything like that, this is a very interesting card to get as our advice and solution. If that happens to be you, I don't know what to say for you other than the advice and solution is the Lover's card, and it's upright, extremely pleasant, growing together with your significant other. So I would say this is a very positive card. If you don't happen to be in that headspace right now, that aside, this is a really positive tarot card reading, especially about being present. Even if you're not in that headspace right now, it could be a just maybe something to look forward to. I don't know. So yeah, love is in a constant state of evolution, which is great. I think it really matches the Magician card.